He was a two-time Oscar winner, the celebrated star of House of Cards, and the artistic director of one of London's most prestigious theaters. For decades, Kevin Spacey wasn't just a star, he was one of the most respected actors of his generation. Then, in 2017, it all came crashing down. Since the first public allegations surfaced, Spacey has been trapped in a legal hurricane spanning 2 continents. It's been a whirlwind of criminal charges, civil suits, and a spectacular fall from grace. He was found not liable in a US civil trial. He was cleared of all criminal charges in the UK. For a moment, it looked like his long legal nightmare might finally be over. But just when Kevin Spacey thought he was in the clear, everything changed. This is a complex story with major new developments, and we'll be covering it every step of the way. To make sure you don't miss any updates, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. In November 2025, just as the world's attention began to wander, the ground shifted beneath his feet once more. 3 new civil claims of sexual assault were filed against Spacey in a London court. Now, this isn't a criminal trial, there's no prison on the line. But this upcoming legal battle, with a trial date tentatively set for October 2026, could be the one that financially and professionally dismantles his career for good. So, what exactly are these new allegations? And why is a civil trial, not a criminal one, now the single biggest threat Kevin Spacey has ever faced? In late November 2025, it was confirmed 3 men had brought separate civil lawsuits against Kevin Spacey in London's High Court. The alleged incidents reportedly took place between 2000 and 2013, a period that covers much of his powerful tenure as artistic director at the Old Vic Theatre. This time things are different. Unlike his criminal trial, where accusers were anonymous, one of the claimants, an actor named Rory Cannon, has waived his anonymity to bring his case. Cannon alleges that Spacey groped him at a party in 2013, an account he previously shared in the 2024 documentary Spacey Unmasked. The other 2 men remain anonymous, identified in court documents as LNP and GHI. LNP alleges he was deliberately assaulted by Spacey on about 12 different occasions between 2000 and 2005. The third claimant, GHI, claims he met Spacey through a workshop at the Old Vic and suffered psychiatric damage and financial loss after an alleged assault in 2008. Spacey has already formally denied 2 of the 3 claims and is expected to contest the third. Lawyers are arguing a provisional trial date is on the calendar for October 12, 2026, and the court still has to decide if these 3 claims will be heard together or in separate trials. This isn't just another headline, it's a brand new legal war. And to understand why it's so dangerous for him, you have to look at the battles he's already fought and won. Kevin Spacey's legal saga really kicked off in October 2017. Actor Anthony Rapp alleged Spacey made a sexual advance toward him in 1986 when Rapp was just 14. In the aftermath, more than a dozen other men came forward. Spacey was fired from House of Cards, and the production company, MRC, later won a $31 million arbitration award against him for breaching his contract. His scenes in the movie, All the Money in the World, were famously cut and reshot with another actor. His first major courtroom test was in New York in October 2022. Anthony Rapp sued him for $40 million in a civil lawsuit. After a 3-week trial, the jury took barely an hour to find Kevin Spacey not liable. It was a stunning and decisive victory. Next up was a criminal trial in the UK. Spacey faced 9 charges of sexual offenses against 4 different men, with allegations spanning from 2001 to 2013. During the summer of 2023 trial, prosecutors called him a sexual bully, while Spacey's defense claimed the encounters were consensual. After weeks of testimony that even included a statement from Elton John helping to dispute one accuser's timeline, the jury acquitted Spacey of all 9 charges. He wept in the courtroom as the verdicts were read. He was found not liable in America and not guilty in Britain. By any legal measure, he had won. And yet, these new claims prove the story is far from over. So, what makes these new civil claims so different? Why could they succeed where others have failed? It all comes down to one crucial legal concept: the burden of proof. In the criminal trial Spacey won, the prosecution had to prove his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. That's the highest standard there is. The jury needs to be almost completely certain. If there's any other logical explanation, any reasonable doubt, they have to acquit. And they did. But a civil trial is a totally different ballgame. The standard of proof is much, much lower. In a UK civil court, the claimants only need to prove their case on the balance of probabilities. Essentially, this means Is it more likely than not? The question isn't whether there's any doubt. It's whether the evidence suggests it's over 50% likely that the events happened as described. This changes everything. A jury that might have reasonable doubt in a criminal case could easily decide that, on balance, an assault was more likely to have happened than not. This lower bar is a massive threat. Spacey isn't facing jail, but if he loses, he could be ordered to pay huge damages for psychiatric harm and financial losses. There's another challenge, too. The claimant's lawyers are pushing for all three cases to be heard in a single trial. If the judge agrees, Spacey will have to defend himself against three accusers at once. This strategy, known as similar fact evidence, can be devastatingly effective. The idea is that an alleged pattern of behavior across multiple stories makes each individual claim more believable. Spacey's team is fighting to have the cases heard separately, arguing the only thing they have in common is their client. The judge's decision here will be a huge turning point. Even before these new lawsuits, Kevin Spacey's finances were reportedly in shambles. In recent interviews, he's revealed that years of legal bills and no work have left him financially devastated. He claimed to be essentially homeless, with his Baltimore home sold to cover debts, forcing him to live out of hotels. He admitted to owing many millions in legal fees. This makes the upcoming civil trial an existential threat. A criminal conviction takes away your freedom. A liable verdict in a civil trial like this can take away everything else. The damages awarded to three men could be financially catastrophic, potentially pushing him into the bankruptcy he's so far avoided. But the stakes are even higher than money. This trial is the final battle for his public reputation. After his 2023 acquittal, Spacey talked about rebuilding his career and has taken roles in a few small independent films. He's openly hoped for a big-name director to give him another shot, believing that's the only way to end his Hollywood exile. This trial puts any real comeback on life support. The proceedings will drag all the past allegations back into the spotlight for the world's media to feast on. Win or lose, the damage to his already fractured image will be immense. And if he's found liable, it would be a legal stamp of disapproval that his previous court victories helped him avoid. It would be a definitive judgment, not that he's a criminal, but that on the balance of probabilities, he is a man who committed sexual assault. For a public figure trying to mount a comeback, that distinction is probably meaningless. For years, Kevin Spacey has walked through a legal minefield and come out the other side claiming exoneration. He beat a civil suit in America and criminal prosecution in Britain. But this new trial is different. It's not about reasonable doubt. It's about the balance of probabilities. It's not about his freedom. It's about his future, his finances, and the final, binding verdict on his legacy. He's now facing three accusers, a much lower burden of proof, and a public that has largely already made up its mind. After years of fighting, this upcoming trial in London may not be the one that puts him behind bars, but it could very well be the one that finally and irreversibly ends his career. The road to the October 2026 trial will be packed with preliminary hearings and critical legal moves that will decide the final outcome. As this landmark case in the #MeToo era unfolds, the question remains: what will a civil jury decide is the most likely truth? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And to follow every development and get clear analysis as the trial approaches, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications.